didn't really have a normal childhood. Most of the things kids remember doing with their dad's movies, random drives, small traditions, I got those moments from my uncle instead. He wasn't my actual father, but he filled that role better than anyone else could. As I got older, though, things started to change. My mom remarried, and slowly, my uncle stopped coming around. At first, it was less frequent visits. He was standing near the basement door, completely still, staring down into the darkness. I called his name, but he barely reacted, just a quick glance at me before locking his eyes back on the basement. Something about it felt wrong. I turned on the basement light, but didn't go down. Jojo stepped a little closer, but didn't bark. That alone was enough to make me uneasy. I ended up pulling him away and closing the door, trying to convince myself it was nothing. But back in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling. Every few minutes, Jojo would lift his head and stare toward the door again. Eventually, I gave in. I went back downstairs. Jojo followed me this time, but stopped again at the basement entrance. Same exact spot. I stood there for a moment. Then, without really thinking, I called out, "Is someone down there?" No response. So I turned the light on and started going down. The stairs creaked with every step. You couldn't see the full basement until you were halfway down because of the low ceiling. I had just reached that point when I heard it. Someone said my name. It was weak, strained, but I knew that voice. It sounded exactly like my uncle. I rushed down the rest of the stairs, heart pounding, expecting to find him hurt or something, but the basement was empty. Completely empty. I checked everywhere. Beyond furniture, corners, everything. Then she told me the truth. My uncle had died years ago. Kanza. That's why he stopped coming around. She just never told me. I didn't even let her finish explaining. Then who's in the basement? I said. She went quiet for a second, then told me to call the police immediately. So Primera did. They came, searched the entire house including the basement and the laundry room. Nothing. Then I heard a faint sound from the laundry room door. Primera frase. Something in my gut told me not to open it. Instead, I turned and ran upstairs as fast as I could. Jojo started barking loud. Panicked barking. I hadn't heard from him in years. I locked myself in my room and called my mom. When she answered, I told her everything. About the voice. About the basement. She stayed calm. Too calm. Told myself it had to be the house. Old buildings make noise, right? But then one night, I came home late and heard something immediately after stepping inside. A loud thud from below, then footsteps. I didn't even stay. I left and called the police. They found nothing. Again. But things got worse. One day, I noticed the downstairs door slightly open even. Though I knew I had shut it, I don't know what scared me more. Hearing my dead uncle's voice in that basement, or realizing later that sometimes the scariest things aren't supernatural at all. Some it seems someone is really there. A couple of years later, I was renting the upper floor of an old house. The lower floor was empty, completely dark every night. At first, everything was fine. Then one night, I heard footsteps downstairs. Slow, heavy, deliberate, not creaking, not pipes, actual footsteps. It kept happening over the next few nights. Sometimes it sounded like someone walking, other times like something moving. Once, I even heard what sounded like a cabinet closing. Another time, I smelled cigarette smoke near a window. Then one night, The footsteps stopped directly under my bedroom, and I heard 3 soft taps. Pause. Then 3 more. That's when I knew something wasn't right. The next day, my friend came over to check with me. We didn't find Mooch until, he pointed, under a cabinet. There was a cigarette, but hidden back there. Fred, someone had been there. Later, the landlord confirmed one of the windows didn't lock properly. Someone had probably been sneaking in and using the empty floor. That same night, while packing my things, I heard something new. A cough, clear as day. From downstairs, I left immediately and never went back.